Previously, we have shown Mark and Amber almost break up due to Mark's superhero duties. Meanwhile, Debbie discovered the truth about Nolan, that he killed the Guardians. The Moller twins brought the Immortal back to life, after which the Immortal set out to kill Omni-Man, but Omni-Man kills the Immortal again. Mark finds out the truth about Omni-Man. A fierce battle ensues between Nolan and Mark. Ultimately, Nolan cannot bear to kill his son, so he flees the Earth. By watching the devastation caused by the fight between Mark and Nolan, the Moller twins packed up their bags and surrendered to the GDA, and at the end, Grayson family was shattered. Now onwards, we see Invincible and Omni-Man fighting together, but something feels wrong. They are not saving people, they are killing civilians, destroying cities, and ruling Earth with brutality. This is not our Mark, this is a different dimension, a darker reality where Mark joined his father instead of resisting him. This scene is important because it plants the core idea of the part. The multiverse exists and Mark Grayson can become a monster under the wrong circumstances. Back in our timeline, Mark is emotionally broken. After Nolan's betrayal, Mark no longer trusts himself. He knows how dangerous Viltrumite blood is and what he could become. So Mark makes a huge decision. He goes to Cecil and asks to work directly with the GDA. Mark believes that Cecil's supervision is the only way to keep him from turning into his father. He wants rules, control, and accountability. Cecil agrees, but we can tell something is off. Cecil doesn't fully trust Mark, and Mark doesn't fully trust himself. Suddenly, Earth faces a new threat. A massive giant creature attacks, forcing the Guardians of the Globe into action. The fight is brutal and chaotic, showing how fragile Earth's defenses really are without Omni-Man. Even though the Guardians win, the battle exposes a harsh truth. Earth is underpowered and Mark is still their strongest weapon, whether they like him or not. After the battle, leadership changes. The Immortal officially becomes the leader of the Guardians of the Globe. But Immortal is different now. He's colder, more aggressive, and deeply traumatized by what Nolan did to him. Immortal doesn't see Mark as a hero anymore. He sees him as Omni-Man's son. This tension becomes extremely important later. Meanwhile, chaos continues elsewhere. The Moller twins, geniuses, criminals, and repeat escape artists break out once again. But this time, they are not alone. They are approached by a mysterious man named Angstrom Levy. Angstrom Levy is not a typical villain. His specialty is his mind. He explained to the Moller twins that he can access memories from other dimensions, but his mind is incomplete. So, what are his plans? Use a machine to combine the minds of all Angstrom Levys from every dimension into one perfect version, so he can use the gained knowledge to advance Earth's technology and save other planets. Angstrom explains the multiverse in detail, how infinite realities exist, each with small changes, and then he drops a bombshell. In many dimensions, Mark joins Omni-Man. Together, they are ruling Earth and killing millions of people mercilessly. Angstrom's intentions was good. He wants to save worlds, not destroy them. The Moller twins agree to help, but only for one reason. They want freedom. It's a temporary alliance. While all this happens, we see Debbie Grayson. She is completely broken. Her husband was not just a villain, he was a pure lie. Debbie struggles with depression, alcohol, and isolation. She needs time to heal, but the wounds are too deep. We have seen Debbie is not weak, she is traumatized, and healing takes time. The Moller twins starts the machine. Slowly, minds from infinite dimensions begin flowing into Angstrom, but something goes wrong. The process is too intense. Angstrom's body and mind begin to collapse. Then the GDA detects a massive energy spike. Cecil sends Mark immediately. Mark arrives and confronts the Moller twins. The fight is intense. Mark easily overpowers individual Mollers, but then the nightmare begins. Moller twins from other dimensions start appearing. The situation spirals out of control. During the chaos, the machine overloads. Angstrom's body is crushed. The machine is destroyed. Most Mollers die. It looks like Angstrom Levy is dead. After the battle, Immortal confronts Mark. He openly says he does not trust him. You are your father's son. In the final moments, we discover the truth. One Moller twin is alive and Angstrom Levy is alive too. But he is changed now. His body is disfigured, his mind is broken, and now all the pain, rage, and memories from other dimensions are inside him. This is the birth of a true villain. Angstrom no longer wants to save worlds. Now he wants revenge. Revenge for the people who are clone of Angstrom. died in other dimensions. Revenge against Mark Grayson, who he now blames for everything. His journey from good intentions to pure hatred begins from now. Mark Grayson completes his school education and receives his degree. Mark meets up with William, Eve, and Amber. They start discussing their summer vacation plans, a calm, human moment that contrasts heavily with the chaos of earlier episodes. William just wants a fun, stress-free summer. Amber talks about traveling and enjoying life. Eve wants to actually help people. Mark is stuck in the middle, unsure how to balance hero work and personal life. This conversation highlights that everyone is trying to heal in their own way, and Eve chooses purpose over vacation. She goes to Chicago, one of the cities completely destroyed during Mark and Omni-Man's fight. People there are homeless, injured, and emotionally broken. Eve starts rebuilding homes, helping civilians, and restoring infrastructure. Meanwhile, Mark decides to focus on his relationship. Mark and Amber goes to Paris for vacation. For the first time in a long while, Mark feels almost normal. There, they spend quality time together, but even there, Mark cannot fully relax. Being invincible means danger follows him everywhere. Cecil informs him about Midnight City chaos. Back on Earth, a new vigilante appears. Darkwing 2, the assistant of the original Darkwing, begins operating in Midnight City. He is aggressive, unstable, and obsessed with criminality. When Mark confronts him, Darkwing 2 immediately attacks on Mark. He takes him to Shadowverse, where every moment is horrible. Mark realizes this guy is not a hero, he is a liability. Mark captures Darkwing 2 and hands him over to the GDA. After this incident, Cecil briefs Mark on another major situation, the Atlanteans. Cecil tells to Mark that Atlanteans are angry with Omni-Man for the death of their king Aquarius, and since your father killed Aquarius and disappeared, according to their law, now instead of Omni-Man, his higher, that is, his son, will be punished. And if we go against them, the entire city will be submerged in water. So Mark must appease the Atlanteans for Aquarius' death. As an apology, Mark must fight for his life. Mark battles a monster called the Depth Dweller and is injured when its roar causes him auditory pain. Cecil tells him to leave from there right now. As Mark leaves, the Depth Dweller breaks free from his chains, putting the entire Atlanteans in danger. The Depth Dweller is about to attack the Atlanteans' queen. Against Cecil's order, Mark saves the Atlanteans and their queen from the Depth Dweller. This is a crucial moment. Instead of leaving them behind, Mark chooses to protect them, even they wanted to kill him. His actions help prevent a war between Atlanteans and the surface world. During this time, the Guardians of the Globe face another threat, the Lizard League. This fight takes a shocking turn when the Guardians encounter an unexpected ally, a shapeshifter. The shapeshifter joins the Guardians. He lies to them about his identity, and he doesn't reveal that he arrived on Earth by replacing one of the astronauts returning from Mars. Just when things seem under control, we see Lizard League head Supreme Lizard is killed by King Lizard, and he takes full control of the Lizard League. This act establishes him as ruthless, power-hungry, and completely unpredictable. The Lizard League is no longer just a joke villain group, they are now a serious threat. Mark and Amber starting their new life at Upstate University, hoping this fresh chapter will finally bring some normalcy. Amber, on the other hand, is more grounded and realistic. She supports Mark, but she knows that being in love with a superhero means danger is always waiting. Their romance feels warmer but also fragile. Until they are continuing their romance, let me tell you a story of Alan the alien, who is from planet Europa. Their world was developing very fast due to advanced technology, and people were living happily there. Suddenly, they are attacked and their peaceful planet turns into a graveyard. Actually, they were attacked by Viltrumites and the whole planet was taken over by them. With the help of technology, some surviving Utopians leave their planet behind and escape from there and start a new life. To increase the population of Utopians, they started breeding camps in which they breed such Utopians who can fight the Viltrumites. And as the news spread, many planets noticed them. Seeing Seeing them break free from the clutches of Viltrumites and start a new life, Thetis, the leader of the collision of planets, called them on his planet Telescria and asked them to join him. Collision of planet means those planets which were against Viltrumites. Years pass by, but the Unopians do not succeed in breeding. But one day, Alan, the only bred Unopian, is seen to be successful. As soon as he born, he is trained to become the most powerful fighter in the universe. There is no such monster till he grows up was left that he could not defeat. He was soon sent on his first mission. He was one of the most powerful creatures in the universe, yet he could not defeat a single Viltrumite in a combat. So the breeding camps were shut down, and then Alan was made a planetary evaluation officer to find out who in the universe can defeat him, so that he can face the Viltrumites together with them. For planetary evaluation, Alan is heading towards planet Urath, but by mistake he lands on planet Earth instead of planet Urath. But that mistake proved to be correct, and he meets Mark Grayson, who was half human and half Viltrumite and could help the collision. Alan tells his king Thetis about Mark Grayson. Hearing this, everyone present there gets shocked and they do not believe Alan's words. Alan tells everyone sitting in the meeting Mark is a good man and he uses his powers only to save his planet and the people there. Recently his father Nolan had attacked the Earth, then both father and son fought and Nolan left the Earth and ran away. Hearing all this, Thetis was also shocked, but he could see the truth in Alan's words. We also see Alan's personal life, something rarely shown before. Alan shares a peaceful, emotional relationship with his girlfriend. Their romance is simple but powerful. They spent good time together. This love story exists to show us what Alan stands to lose. Suddenly, Viltrumites attack Alan's planet. They ask Alan about Nolan, that where he is. Alan replies and says, I don't know about it. After that, Alan is beaten so badly that he appears dead. His body is broken, his breathing stops, his girlfriend and the other aliens watch helplessly as Alan collapses. This is one of the most emotionally painful moments of the part. As if the loss wasn't cruel enough, the situation becomes even darker. The ruler of the planet shuts down medical support machines in order to letting Alan die. Alan is not killed by Viltrumites alone. He is betrayed by cowardice. Back on Earth, Mark meets an insect-like alien from planet Thraxa. He arrived with devastating news. He admits that my planet is in danger and only you can save us. The alien explains that meteors are going to strike on Thraxa and Mark is their last hope. This puts Mark in an impossible position. Cecil immediately shuts the idea down. From his perspective, Mark is inexperienced, the mission is too dangerous, and Earth needs Invincible. Cecil is not heartless, he is pragmatic, but Mark can't ignore a planet begging for help. Despite Cecil's warning, Mark makes his choice. He doesn't go as a soldier, he goes as a hero. On Thraxa, Mark comes face to face with Nolan Grayson, the Omni-Man, the father who betrayed Earth, the man responsible for millions of deaths, the same man Mark still hasn't emotionally recovered from. Now it's time, let's go in flashback, where Nolan was hitting Mark mercilessly. He almost killed Mark, then he got emotional by reminding Mark's childhood. Unable to kill his son, he flies away from Earth. Moments after leaving Earth, Nolan aimlessly wandered outer space for unspecified amount of time. Happening upon a black hole, Nolan stared at it before allowing himself to be slowly pulled in. However, his attempt at suicide was interrupted when he witnessed a damaged spacecraft full of passengers on a direct course for the black hole. Omni-Man decides to save them and return the passengers to their world. Quickly, he was given amnesty and become their monarch. In present, Mark learns of his father's new wife, Andressa, whom he kisses in front of Mark, and then their new child, Oliver, born from Nolan's relationship with a Thraxan woman. Mark experiences the biggest shock of his life. Mark asks Nolan, you got married for the second time? The condition of my mom is worse there, and you have produced a child along with these insects here? How can you do this? To which Nolan replies and says, I can't go back to Earth now, and it was my past. This moment completely breaks Mark emotionally. Meanwhile, on Earth, Debbie embarks in a city and nearly attempts at suicide upon steering a car highway. Instead, she then arrives to a graveyard of Nolan's supposed tombstone, asking why he chose her to be with instead of just taking over Earth, suggesting that their relationship was never real, and continues to sob once more. Mark confronts Nolan and demands truth, that why has he called him to Thraxa. Nolan admits everything. The real reason he brought Mark to Thraxa wasn't the meteor threat, threat. That was just a lie. The truth is far more terrifying. Nolan reveals that Viltrumites on their way to Thraxa. They have discovered Nolan betrayed the Viltrumite Empire. He abandoned his mission on Earth and he created a new family. And according to Viltrumite law, his Thraxan son must die. Nolan brought Mark here because only together they could stop the Viltrumites. For the first time, Omni-Man isn't asking as a warrior, he asking as a father. Mark explodes. He reminds Nolan of everything. The genocide on Earth, the betrayal of Debbie, the lies, the manipulation. Mark refuses to help. In his eyes, Nolan doesn't deserve redemption. And honestly, Mark is right. But then Mark looks at his little brother, an innocent child, a life that has not done anything wrong. Then Mark makes the hardest decision of his life. He doesn't help Nolan because he forgives him. He helps because no child deserves to die for their parents' sin. This is the moment Mark becomes greater than Omni-Man ever was. Chaos explodes and the Viltrumites arrive on Thraxa. While Nolan fights with Viltrumites, Mark brings Andressa to safe area. Soon, fight becomes intense and feels this isn't a fight, it's an execution. Mark and Nolan fight side by side, pushing themselves to their limits. Then they manage to defeat the Viltrumites, barely surviving the brutal battle. Suddenly, a surviving Viltrumite flies in and kicks Nolan's back, shattering his spine, claiming the next time he kills someone, make sure they are truly dead. He calls to his superior, claiming it is done, and then he passes out. After the battle, the Viltrumite general Krieg arrives on Thraxa and captures Nolan. He declares Nolan guilty of betraying his empire, abandoning his mission, and protecting a weaker race. Krieg's sentence is clear. Once Nolan recovers from his injuries, he will be executed. In our language, they will kill Nolan. And now Mark have to complete the Nolan's mission, and if he doesn't, Mark will be killed too. Elsewhere on Earth, the Mauler left alive from the Angstrom's warehouse returns to his old stomping ground and reconstitutes a clone. The clone calls him King Mauler and discreetly assassinates King Mauler by poisoning his lemonade drink, claiming that whether you are a king or a clone, if you have ego, you can die.